Everyone, welcome to A Bite of Fantasy. Today I'm going to show you how to make Naruto's favorite miso ramen with extra chashu. He gets it at Ichiraku, his favorite ramen shop. So let's get started. Alright, so this is the actual ramen. Using a packaged ramen just, for simplicity, because making it from scratch takes a long time. So I have here, I've thrown away the package for the miso ramen, but I did have this soy sauce ramen packet. I will be using the miso, but I had this. I just wanted to show you the brand. They come in all kinds of flavors. So this is what it looks like. I've got no idea what it says. This is what it looks like on the back. It's got the instructions. Pretty simple. And it tastes very good. So, this is what it looks like. Comes with 2 little packages of noodles. You see they're fresh, covered in. You can tell they're fresh. The little broth packets. That's it. So here I've got the meat that I've been marinating for the last couple days. I marinated it in. Hold on. I have stuff falling out of my fridge. Okay. Let's just grab this. I have this pre-made char siu sauce. It's Chinese barbecue sauce. That's just what you marinate the meat in. The meat is a pork belly. I've cut it along the grain. I don't know if you can tell. I've cut it into little squares, easier for cooking. So that's the meat. You just on the jar it says marinate for 2 hours. So if you don't have 2 days to marinate this, 2 hours is fine. Just however long you want to. I prefer stronger flavor, so I marinate longer. And that's all. I also have these lovely little bean sprouts. They are not fresh. They're fresh. I bought them just a couple days ago. They've been in my fridge. They're not like bad or anything. They just don't have that, fresh look to them. And that is all. Right, so I have got my meat cooking on a low heat. You want to do low because it takes a little while to cook. Not too terribly long, about 20 to 30 minutes probably. Probably less because yeah, you're just gonna cook it. You're gonna make sure that you leave space enough for every single piece of meat to touch the pan. Give them their space and just cover it, and you can time it if you want. I'm not going to time it just because I'm going to keep an eye on it. Alright guys, I've got my egg boiling. I'm going to medium boil it so the middle is a little bit solid but still a little bit runny. I've just got 1 egg in a pot of cold water. I'm going to let it heat up. I'm going to let the egg heat with the water, and when it starts to boil, I'm going to time it for 7 minutes. That's just what I find is a good time to medium boil it. So I'm just going to let it heat up with the water, and when it boils, I'll turn the timer on. So it's been about 10 minutes now. I've just flipped the meat, the chashu, and you can tell that it's been marinating for a couple days because it is the color of the barbecue sauce. You can tell over here it is caramelizing very nicely on some of those pieces. So you're just going to want to let it... So my egg is boiling now. I'm going to... That's weird. Set my timer now for 7 minutes and start it. And now we wait. And also you're going to want to... like you see my egg is bouncing a little bit, or you hear it maybe. You're going to want to pay attention to the heat too, so you don't want it to boil too hard. You don't want it to bounce around because then the egg might crack. So I'm just going to turn the heat down, keep it at a boil, a slow boil, and just, you know, monitor the heat. Keep it nice and solid. Alright, so it's been about 15 minutes now. My char siu is done. It's very dark. It didn't burn. It charred a little on some of it. I recommend keeping a little bit of water in the pan while you're cooking it. That way it doesn't char so much. It still will taste very good, but, you know, for future reference, you know, we'll learn as we go. So that is done. Over here I have 4 cups of water getting nice and hot. Once it comes to a boil, I will add my package of noodles and boil it for 3 minutes. So once the noodles come to a boil, you're going to want to make sure you've got all your toppings done. Here I have a 1.5 cups of filtered water, and I'm going to put it into my little electric kettle. I'm gonna let it get nice and hot, and that's for the broth for the ramen. Just following the instructions on the package. Very simple, very easy. Anyone can do it. It's lots of fun. So you're just gonna let the water come to a boil. So my egg is almost done. As you can see, it's still boiling, but not jumping around the pot. I don't have, you know, an ice bath. I don't have ice. I don't have an ice maker. So what I'm gonna do, just get a nice firm grip on this pot, and just run some cold water on it. This is how I always do it when I don't have ice. Just let cold water cover it and just let the water going on it for a few minutes while it cools. It stops the cooking, and preferably you would use an ice bath. If you've got ice, I suggest an ice bath. You know, it shocks the egg, stops cooking it. But if you don't, some green onion. I've washed it and trimmed it, and now I'm just going to cut it into little rings. So, and you want them to look as, you know, presentable as possible, because they are going to be used as toppings. So, maybe I should have peeled this. Alright. And you might want to make sure you've got a really sharp knife for this. They tend to look a little bit better when they're sharper, when the knife is sharper. Gives it a cleaner cut. Alright, so you just, you know, as many as you want, you know, your preference, because this is your soup. So, might as well just use the whole. And you always want to be careful when you're using a knife. Use proper cutting techniques. So, you know, don't want to lose any fingers. I am just gonna throw this in a little bowl and set it aside, because I do not need it right this second. Slippery. I've got my noodles going. I just put them in, so the water stopped boiling for a minute. I'll start back up in a second. I got it going for 3 minutes. And over here we're going to do our little, add our water to our bowl. Add all of a 1.5 cups of water, hot water. And we're going to add all of the soup base. You can see my lens is fogging up. So just add all the soup base, mix it in, dissolve it, and I'll show you what it looks like. I've added the little seaweed bits. You're going to put them in there before you put the rest of the toppings because they do need to absorb the moisture. So yeah, you can put more or less depending on your preferences. I don't want that much in there. So I've got my noodles here. I've drained them and rinsed them a little, not too much because you don't want them to like completely lose their essence. So just add the noodles like that. And then we're going to come over here to the toppings. Let's see, we've got, this is where the seaweed was, the green onion, and we're going to take our egg. I've peeled it already. I'm just going to put that there. We're going to slice it in half. Hopefully it's cooked nicely. See, can't really tell on camera, but it is a little bit mushy on the inside. Nice and firm, but not cooked all the way. And now we're going to arrange our ingredients. So we're going to carefully take our bowl over to our workspace. Don't want to burn yourself, and I'm just going to arrange the toppings. So we've got our egg there, our green onion, bean sprouts, and hold on just one second, our extra chashu. So just carefully, hold on. To wet my tongs, they are sticking together. Oh, to the meat. Put that there. All right, so we're going to put our extra chashu because Naruto always orders extra chashu because he loves it. I don't blame him. It's very, very good. I have made a chashu sauce from scratch, and it's pretty simple. I think all you need, I can't remember the third ingredient, but I know the two main ingredients are ginger. I will find out the third ingredient and put it in the description box. So here is the finished product. Traditionally, you would have a fish cake on there, a Naruto fish cake. That's what it's called. It's called Naruto Maki. It's a fish cake with a spiral on the inside. I do not have this because the Asian market that I go to was all out of it, and so I couldn't use it. But if you want to use it, it's a little cylinder white fish cake with a pink spiral in the middle. Sometimes it will have a spiked edge, or like serrated edge, I guess you would call it. So you just, if you've got that, if you're fortunate enough to find it, just slice it into thin little circle slices and put it on your soup. Alright, that's it. And obviously if you have nori, you can use that too. Just, you know, you can put that in whatever, you can cut that into whatever design you want. Alright, so that is the finished product. I hope you liked the video, and enjoy.